Yo, what up, man?
Not much.
I was wondering if you wanted to be a part of this video here.
Sure, why not?
Well, did you watch the video?
I did
You
not.
did not. So probably won't know anything I'm talking about, but it's cool though.
Nice. Hey, at least I'm an honest guy. So let's say Kumar I'm doing
He's cool. I just realized though playing him that my controller is broke.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, so I can't use him like how I'd like to, but you know, my controller is broke. Such is life.
It's I'm so used to playing Bruce. I play him just like how I would play Bruce. Like, wait a minute, you can't play him like Bruce. You just can't do it.
Right?
But he's still pretty fun. I can't wait to like actually like take him to like offline sessions and stuff like that.
Alright, so this is what I'm gonna have to do here. I'm going to put these in two different windows. Uh, so I'm using Restream for the first time. So
Nice.
I currently have it going on YouTube and on Twitch. But I have to um, open this and put this here. So we're going to bring this into a pop out so I can have them going at the same time. I need to have both chats up. All right, pop out. Okay, there we go.
Bob.
And then, hey, there we go. Double pop out. Let's go.
Hey.
So you got both chat windows up now. Okay.
Sweet.
Then we get
Fake Kumar.
fake. Okay. With that, I think, you know what? Hold on. I know what I'll do. I will turn that off. And then we hit that transition. Minimize that. And we in. There we go. Stream is up. I'm ready. So the format, since again you didn't watch the video, is that on Mondays I post videos recommending 5 titles. So it either be a combination of light novels, webtoons, manga, comics, or anime or cartoons, right? And so I'm only recommending like the first 3 chapters, first 3 episodes, like whatever, just like the intro into the title. Then the following Friday or Saturday, for 30 minutes, starting at 9 a.m. Oh, sorry, 9 p.m. I do a review of them. So the name of the series is the Manga Report, and then the name of the show for the live chat is the Manga Review. So that's what we're doing right now. So I invited you to see if you know. So if you maybe I could talk you into reading a couple titles maybe. So
Alright.
first up, we're gonna get into let's just talk about let's talk about Magician. I think that'll be a good point, starting
Magician.
point. Yeah, so I'm also gonna put a bit of a disclaimer out there for a lot of my viewers. I'm gonna apologize now. A lot of what I read is uh, either isekai or martial arts. So it's either otherworld or martial arts or supernatural martial arts. Even the handle that I use, Kunitoshi Jokyu, I took that from a manga. Um,
Nice.
so it's actually how I met one of the people from the scene. Black Serpent, right? Or Mark.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we met at SakuraCon, and this is the first year I was using the handle. And so when they called me, it was like I said, it was like, "Yo, Kunitoshi Jokyu." I'm like, "Yeah, that's me." He's like, "Yo, Aiki." I'm like, "You know Aiki?" He's like, "Yes." I was like, "You instant best friend." so, um, so that's how that came to be. But yeah, so this is what we're doing. So we're gonna talk about Magician. So I guess I'll just kind of talk to you as a spectator, not
Alright.
not knowing anything about it. And kind of just tell you what it's about. So I read I've read the summary, but I'm gonna tell you what I've gotten out of it from my reading because I have read this story for a while. Um, so in Magician, the main character is a guy by the name of Ether Mask. He is basically on a journey to try to uh, he, help his girlfriend, as it were. Um, but he's currently immortal, and in his journeys, he's run across kids, people just coming across the fact that he's immortal, so he's been around for a while. Um, there is currently a bounty out for him. Uh, pretty hefty bounty. So he's got people trying out for his head. It's a dead or alive warrant. Warrant. He ends up running across these two kids, and he ends up helping them as their village gets attacked. Their name is are Ermi and Ez. Or no, Enz. I'm sorry. Enz is the boy, and Ermi is the girl. She turns out to um be two spirits in one. I think is what best way to say it. One is a the spirit that's inside is one of a like kind of a ancient race that's really powerful when it comes to magic, especially earth magic.
Yeah.
And then Anz is just a really smart martial artist. I would say like he can pick up any fighting style like super quick. Um, and in their journey, they end up teaming up with him, and then all these twists and turns come up in their life that reveal more and more secrets. One of which is the fact that Ether Mask uh, is basically in this struggle with his brother, who, in the act of the magic that they used, turned into him. So now his brother looks like him.
Nice.
So think about this, right? So it also comes out that he's also in charge of the military group that's currently out for him. So the bounty that's out on his brother's head is for people to find a guy that looks like me, basically.
Dang.
But they don't. But those here's the other twist on that. He's actually the bad guy.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it gets real spicy. Turns out that he's the reason his girlfriend's in the coma in the first place, and it gets, yeah, it's a lot that goes on. They meet up with a dragon, like it gets crazy. A lot of fighting, a lot of martial arts, a lot of magic. So that's one of the five titles I recommended for this week. The other title that I recommended was uh, let's get to it. It was Sword Interval. So Sword Interval is kind of a think Ghostbusters, but there are so think Ghostbusters, but there's an opposing faction that works with the
Alright.
ghost and the monsters.
Alright.
So there's like a group of mercenaries, right? There's an organization that hires mercenaries basically to go and hunt monsters, and there's a group of um uh it gets kind of deep because there's like a group of an antagonistic group that's also like rich and powerful people that are wanting to bring the destruction of the earth. Uh, there's this young girl. Her name is Fall. Her parents both die in a raid kind of type thing because they end up they find the the lich who's currently trying to get a piece of himself back or something like that. It's been a minute since I read it. But he ends up killing both of her parents. But at the same time he ends up marking her to basically become the harbinger of the destruction of the world. And then it gets revealed that he's been doing this for years. And the good guys, right? The good guys with air quotes, have been letting it happen. So that's Sword Interval.
Ooh.
Okay. The other title that I recommended was, I think it was, oh, Dior. Dior. Yeah, yeah, it was Dior. Okay, so Dior's a little crazy too. Main character. Think okay, you know Black Clover, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so think like Aster, the main character, no magic, but the main character is one of like six princes, and the father is doing like a coronation ceremony, talk about kind of naming his successor to the throne. But in actuality, what he does is he's like, all right, so here's the case situation. Any one of you can be the next king. All you gotta do is show yourself worthy and take this crown, right? And so main character, he's like, I don't want the crown. He's like, I already know what this is gonna be like. This is gonna be a headache dealing with all these people who already despise me for not having magic. Then if I'm their king, come on, like that's he's like, I'm not ready. I don't need to have that kind of problem in my life. Then he gets an assassination attempt on his life by one of his siblings, but he doesn't know who. And there's also a demon that it looks like it's trying to take over his body. I'm not 100% sure on that. It's currently on hiatus. It's only got 15 episodes in so far, but yeah, there's a lot going on with that tale. I was like, I can't wait for the rest of it to come back. So it said he's supposed to. It says it's supposed to come back in March. It says it will return in March. March is almost over. I hope the Arthur is okay and is coming back because this is a good story and I would love to see more. The next one.
Final Fantasy VII remake's almost out.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's what is that? June,
April.
April. Okay. Then after that, the next title we're dealing with is the God of High School. So, kind of in the video, I kind of went over this again. The God of High School is a kind of a Korean take on the Journey to the West story. So it's dealing with Sun Wukong. However, because it's Korean story, the main character's name is Mori Jin. He doesn't really have his memories from when he was the Monkey King, but he is been trained by this old guy who found him and taught him. I think is it ITF Taekwondo or is it RTF Taekwondo? He taught him some form of like the original fighting style of the Taekwondo, like whichever one was like the most ancient form of it, basically. And so there's in this world there are people who are called power borrowers. So basically what it is they can use the abilities of ancient historical figures or mythical figures, people have legends or mysteries like that, right? So like there's somebody's out there who's got the power of Hercules. Yo, what's up, Fla? Then there's so thanks for joining. I sent you a party invite, but I don't think you're on PlayStation right now. Yeah, yeah, Fla's out right now. He's on Twitch. Hasty Steve said, "What's up?"
Yeah, Flo, come on in.
Yeah. I asked him if he wanted to be in because I know he started doing a review on his channel for One Piece. So if those of you who are big One Piece fans, you want to go hit up some knowledge for One Piece, go follow Pirate King Flaw on YouTube. Subscribe, hit the notification button,
And follow that guy on Twitch.
and on Twitch.
Paul Z doesn't like play tag with us, workout party, where he lives, engage connection. Paul Z.
So what was that?
Paul Z.
Paul Z.
Yeah. Wanted me to invite he wanted to me to play Tekken, it seems.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
If you,
I'll join you guys in game.
yeah, no, yeah, no problem, man. I was trying to. I invited. So originally, so when I first started this, I was gonna try to do some kind of like a team stream type thing. I knew he was doing his thing for One Piece, so I was gonna invite him to be a part of this, and then maybe like he'd be like uh, my go to person. Like I'd have him watch my video and then go read up on some of the titles I recommend. And I could pick his brain about what he thought about the title. Oh, you gonna eat dinner in a minute? Okay. I'm beyond. I'm doing it for 30 minutes. But afterwards, if you want to just talk, we can. I can, we can make a party or something.
Okay, so yeah. Paul Z
Okay, if you want to, man, you good.
All right, cool.
All right, so just gonna get back into this. So yes, okay. So with the God of High School, Mori Jin. Uh,
I'll be back in a little bit.
yeah, no problem.
All right.
Oh, I move my mic. So yeah, so with Mori Jin, he like I said, he learned a particular style of taekwondo. I can't really remember off the top of my head which format it was that he learned. But he learned it from his grandfather. But again, like in this world, there's people who are called power borrowers. So again, like I said, they take powers from people of legend. Like one guy's got power of Hercules. Somebody's got power of Yamato no Orochi. The eight-headed dragon, basically the Japanese Hydra. Um, Someone else who's got the power of like Leonidas they can borrow. Someone's got the power of Zeus, stuff like that, right? And then there's people who are just pure martial artists, so they don't have any powers that they borrow. They just fight really well. So in the story of the God of High School, there is a martial arts tournament that's for a high school that ends up becoming like a world tournament from all these people who end up showing up. These teams from Team Korea, Team USA, Team Africa, stuff like that. So people, these 3-man team sales from all around the world end up competing for this battle. Then it ends up turning into big story of betrayal, memories coming back of past lives and stuff like that. Because again, Mori Jin is the Monkey King. So there's a lot that goes on with that. A lot more abilities be developed. A lot more character development. A lot of brainwashing. It gets really deep on that one. So yeah, the God of High School. Sorry, the God of High School is a really good read. Like I said, I really want Dior to come back. I hope the author is okay. And will be returning, but like I said, I want to see some more Dior. I have not actually started reading Sword Interval again since the last video I did. But Oregon High School. Actually, basically, I've been reading other titles to get ready for this show, but like I haven't read any of the stuff that's on here in a minute. Let's see, and then the last title, the one that everybody's talking about. If you're not talking about it, you need to be talking about it. Oh, it reconnected. My bad, folks. I don't know what just happened there. We had like a little bit of a lag spike. Um, okay, we still good? Okay, looks like we're still good. All right, minimize that. My bad there. Oh, sorry about that, guys. So, so again, sorry. That's Tower God. Apologize for the lag spike there. The connection just decided it wanted to go out on us. But again, so here we go. Back to Tower of God. Again, following the life of Bam of the 25th Night. Again, his story is that of a boy who is living in a cave. It's all he's known since he can remember. He doesn't know anything else. He ends up meeting this girl named Rachel. This girl named Rachel, she has a dream. She wants to see the stars. So she's like, my dream is to see the stars. I'm gonna go into the tower, see the stars. He's like, I don't want you to leave me. She's like, I'm sorry, I gotta go. Gotta go live my dream, right? And so he's like, I can't be without my friend. I was like, she's all I have in this world. So he gets. So most people in are called into the tower. Bam just opens the doors and walks into the tower. That's what labels him as what's known as an irregular in this world. Irregulars are anomalies in the tower. They're typically extremely powerful. Once he gets in, he ends up meeting one of the princesses of Jihad. She gives him Black March, and then a lot of hijinks ensue from there. I know I'm using hijinks in the lightest term possible, but it's gonna get a little bit more. It's a lot more complicated than hijinks. It's a lot of a how do we say scheming more so. I think makes more is a little bit more fitting for the statement. Um, yeah, I think scheming is the best word for that. What's up, guys? friend just invited me to a voice chat on PS4. Um, so again with Bam though, him coming into the tower of his own will, he ends up in a whole bunch of situations that basically just continuously are making him really strong. I'll let you read them for yourself so you can experience the all the emotional roller coaster. There's all the ups and downs of that. And again, April 1st, it's coming out on Crunchyroll. Is there anything else we're gonna go over? No, I think that's pretty much it. Um, Covered most of the titles. We covered the 5 titles I recommended. Uh, any questions? Said any questions? Are you not watching me right now? I'm live on 2 platforms. You not watching? I'm on Twitch and on YouTube right now. I'm using Restream. I'm doing a live chat. Oh, that's cool, bro. You was in the bathroom. So what did you miss? Start out of what? Oh no, so okay, so that's cool. Actually, the connection just dropped out in the middle of the first video, so it reset itself up just now. Oh, you've been reading Tower God? Not caught up yet? It's cool. You don't gotta be caught up. So what you've read so far is nice, right? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what happened. My internet just decided it wanted to go out for a second, but it came back up though, so we're good. I don't think it will. I think it'll just follow the book the same way. Um, Unless you're talking about like the time frame where he ends up getting trained by the dude with the martial art that teaches the martial arts. But we don't want to say too much. We don't want to spoil too much because that's a part of the roller coaster I was talking about. But it looks like it's gonna be good though. Just from the trailer, I feel like they're gonna do a pretty good job with it. What's up? Hold on. Oh, I muted the mic. That's why you couldn't hear. Oops. I'm touching stuff. This moment right here is don't wanna don't wanna do that. It's too far. It's too far ahead. There's a lot you gotta catch up. Yeah, you talk about catching up, bro. There's a lot to catch up to. But let's see. When is the next chapter gonna be available here? Free in 2 days. Free in 9 days. Free in 16 days. All right. So I think for the next video, for the next recommendations, I think I'm gonna do a split of titles because the first 5 titles all came off of Webtoon. So I think I'm gonna mix up my titles between a couple of sources, so we can give some credit to some other uh, apps for content. Um, one of which I think is gonna probably be Manga Tune. The other one may be Two Mix, and then we'll see what the other ones is. Oh, these are all good titles, man. I have not read the manga for Battle Angel Alita. Should I read it? Probably. I didn't. I wanted to see the movie though. It looked like it was gonna be pretty good, as far as ports go. Well, I guess it wouldn't be a port. It was an original film. Oh, also, I don't want to say anything about that. See, adaptation is a better option word. Minimize this a little bit. There we go. Man, I don't want to say. Oh, I got too much going on here. Let me close this. Let me close the app. All right. So yeah, let's just kind of unwind here. We got a couple more minutes before the stream ends. Um, so these are just a few apps I've got here for reading content. So I got Web Novel, Webtoon, MangaToon, WeComics, Viz Manga, two Mix, and there's one more that I didn't download on here yet. I couldn't find it on the emulator, but I think it's. Hold on, go back to let's go to my phone. Oh no, that is all of them. Well, no, it's Manga Zone. I couldn't get that on the emulator, unfortunately. I'm sorry, but Manga Zone is where I read a lot of my stuff at. I preferred it more when it was illegal. Before it was legal, because now that it's legal, they can't have certain titles on there because they're owned or licensed by other entities. But I miss the good old days of illegal reading. Longer Liar Game. I don't think I've read that one, but I think I've seen it. That picture though, right? You talking about Liar Game? You didn't know it was an anime? I think because I think I've seen it like in passing. Look again, like I read a lot, and I think it may have been one of the ones like I originally had lined up in my queue to read, but I just never got around to it. Dang, there's so many titles. I just want to just like start rattling off, but I gotta keep to the format. Keep to the format. So, just for the record, is Tower of God the only title you're currently reading out of all the recommendations, or are you reading other ones? Because I know Tower of God is in season 3, so it's been around for a minute. So if you're trying to catch up, you're gonna be there. You got some time. You got something. You got some time on your hands there. Yeah, solo leveling. I was gonna get to that. All right, because you brought that up, that's gonna be a part of the next video. I was contemplating it, but it's gonna be the next video. You're almost caught up in Tower of God. Okay. Woo. Solo leveling, bro. That's a doozy on that one. I'm assuming you're caught up, so I'm just gonna throw this out there. He's a king. He has no limit. Right? Same here. I usually read like I'm going to and from work sometimes if I'm not playing mobile games on my phone, or I'll read it as I'm going to sleep. Oh, new update on web novel. I kind of messed up on this one actually. I apologize though for those of you who did end up coming in late. I forgot to post the link on the Facebook group, the Discord, Twitter, and Instagram. So that's my bad. I just kind of got in here, got everything set up, and it started working. So and it was like 9 o'clock. So I was like, all right, I'll just go ahead and get started. But at least now I know it works. I had to get Restream set up before I even started, so I make sure that it was playing on both sides because I was gonna be doing it on YouTube, but I decided to do on the Restream option so I could put it on both sides and people come to whichever one they felt like. So yeah, I think that will be a part of my my next week's recommendation. Uh, Thank you for solidifying that because if you're not reading Solo Leveling right now, you're gonna be after that video. Oh my God, Solo Leveling is so good. Actually, I just found another series called almost because it's Korean, so the title is called "I Log In Alone." It's recently just got picked up and someone just started translating it to English. Um, Almost the same sentiment of living in our world, right? We'll just say Earth Prime for these types of things. Take a book from the DC page. So in Earth Prime, um, these dungeons like appear. Actually, no, I don't want to go too much into it. I'll bring it up in the next video. We'll bring it up. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna go ahead and shut down this stream. I do want to thank you guys for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed it. So signing off. Remember, as always, stay salty.